big sentence. Big plays with them big names and them big buildings. That's big business. Hit 10, but that's big pimpin'. My potential, that's infinite. Pin game insane. Make hits like King Griffin, a 10th inning.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'll start off by saying this is episode 16 of the 10th Inning Podcast. And ladies and gentlemen, I just said that, but I'll say it again. Dan went to great lengths to be here today. He drove 10 hours from Long Island, New York to UNC Chapel Hill in North Carolina. And folks, he is less than 20 minutes from arriving back.
We're talking less than 15, folks. Yeah.
I didn't mean to overshoot that.
No, you're fine.
I mean, that's the dedication we're giving you here. Anyway, Dan, how are you doing?
Sean, I'm doing okay. I'm a little out of breath here. If you'd like to let them know why. I mean, it was honestly one of the greatest feats in athletic history. Please take it away.
So when Dan sat down here with me, after getting out of the car for a 10-hour drive, don't want to reiterate that, his laptop, he didn't have his charger. It was inside his suitcase, which was inside your car, right?
That's correct, yes. Across the parking lot, yep.
Across the parking lot, and he wanted me to time him. And he left at 9:26, and he returned at 9:29. That's 3 minutes, folks.
And it's 9:31, folks. Okay, yeah. It just turned 9:31 too.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to just say I'm the greatest of all time or anything. I'd like to point out two things. First thing, the only reason it's 15 minutes is because I have two children. I got little kitty cats. You guys know that if you're fans of the pod, I had to let them piss, shit, and eat. That's all I did. And second, there is another amazing thing I did when I got home, Sean. I was ready to go at 9:15. And what happened? What happened, Sean?
The Wi-Fi wasn't working. It was unplugged, actually.
That's right. And I plugged in a coaxial cable. Okay? You want me to plug something into the wall? I do that. Do up my charger, my phone charger, whatever. A screwy coaxial cable? That's above my pay grade.
You did.
This, folks, is a workout. Okay?
And not to mention, his trip began today in a New York blizzard.
It did. I was snow all over the place honestly, there was snow on the ground until Virginia, believe it or not. It really did. I think it came from the south.
Wow. We got our weatherman over here.
Yeah.
So anyway, we got some fun things planned for you guys today. We really do. So what we're going to start out with here is we're going to rank or just list, depending on how we feel, our top 10 stadiums in Major League Baseball. Now, full disclosure, we haven't been to all of these, and personally myself, I haven't been to many of them at all. But this is just from watching experience, viewing experience, and things that we hear. And we're gonna give you our opinions on all of them. And Dan, your hair is looking fantastic.
I was actually getting a little self-conscious about it. That's why I'm trying to slick it back. I normally wear hats on the podcast. Would you mind if I just grab the hat?
Go right ahead.
Thanks. Okay. I'll just grab my first edition 10th Inning Podcast hat and throw it on there, baby. Merch dropping.
Merch.
How are we doing? Fresh with tags. Okay. Here it is. You didn't ask for it. We gave it to you. The 10th Inning Podcast. Okay. Let me turn this filter off so I can completely interrupt Sean. The third time already this episode. We're 2 minutes in. Take a look at this, baby. The 10th inning. Okay, that's what we are. That's what we do. These hats. I'll tell you something special about these hats. Getting it for Sean. Ended up getting 12. 12 hats. There's never going to be another 12 hats like this ever. These are the first. This is the first merch we're ever going to have. If you're an OG 10th Inning Podcast fan, you're going to want to flaunt these hats. These are like NFTs, basically. I mean, these could only starting price, okay? These are going to be selling for $32. That's how much the hat is, all right? So buckle up your balls. You want to pay $32, you could be great. You'd be one of the, you're like the 12 apostles, the 12 disciples, okay? One of the first 12. And honestly, there's only 10 hats really available.
Yeah.
Me and the kid have 2 of them. So if you want to be one of the 12 at the table with me and Sean, you got to get one of these hats to be at that table. Now, $32, I get it. That's steep for you. Okay, a lot of 10th Inning Podcast fans, they're broke. And it's a broke podcast. Yeah. I hear you. Yeah. What we're going to do, okay, really what I'm going to do, because Sean has never seen this hat before. This is derailed far from his imagination.
This is a Christmas gift, actually.
This is a Christmas gift current happening right now. What we're going to do, okay, is for every subscriber you get to the podcast, you get $1 off the hat, okay? So that's
not a bad deal.
You bring 32 subscribers, you just bought yourself a free hat. Up to the 33rd subscriber, I'll Venmo you $1 with the hat. Put $1 in the mail with the hat with you if you want. If you want to bring 33, bring 33. Do what you want to do. Get paid for a special edition hat. That's your doing. Now, what you need to do to prove that you're bringing the subs, all you got to do, tell your friends, your family, your parents. Obviously, try and make sure you tell people that are really going to enjoy the podcast. Don't just tell the hobo on the street, hey, subscribe so I can get a free hat. Listen, you want to do that? You want to do that. God bless. But try and get people that are actually going to really enjoy the content. Baseball fans, get engaged. We want a really strong, engaged community, not a random, spread out community. We want to be strong and engaged. So get those people. Once they subscribe, all 3 things. You got to be subscribed. Check that easy. They got to be subscribed. Check that easy. And they got to comment on this video. Let's say Leif gets 10 people. They got to say, Leif sent me. Leif sent me. I'm going to count how many people said Leif sent me. Make sure they're subscribed. Make sure Leif subscribed. And that comes off your hat. If you're interested in the hat, you don't want to play 32, easy way to knock it down.
And Leif, we're counting on you on this one. You didn't just say your name by accident.
No, Matt, frankly, let's get this. I'm hoping to get to 100 subs. We get to 100 subs. We might have some more merch dropping soon with some similar stuff, but they'll never be this again. This is it, 12. 12 of the first edition. Just saying, be at the table.
We expect big things from our listeners. We deliver every single week, and you want to get involved with this close-knit community, of people like ourselves. Here's the best way to do it. Look at those gems right there.
That's right. One of these is yours, baby. All right, Sean, you take us away here.
Okay. All right. So as I was saying before, top 10 stadiums in Major League Baseball based on our opinions. Again, that personally, disclaimer, I have only been to a few Major League stadiums in my day. The old Yankee Stadium, old Shea Stadium, and Citi Field. That's not a lot, but I've watched baseball. Me and Dan have watched baseball our whole lives. We get a good feeling about a stadium based off of what we've seen on TV and all that kind of stuff. Dan, would you like to go first? You want me to go first?
Sean, I've never had any qualms about going first. That's like the last comment you've ever seen from me on this podcast.
All right. All right. You want to give one of your top 10? Go right ahead.
Sure. I have a little bit of an order to mine, so I'll go in order if that's okay with you.
Go right ahead.
Listen, actually, we're gonna start from number 10, right? Because let's build the suspense a little bit here, right?
Absolutely.
So, number 10 for me. It's a caveat here. A little bit of a caveat.
Okay.
We got Marlins Park with the art installation. Okay. Once that art installation left, you're getting bumped for Camden yards. I'm sorry. Camden's
Derek Jeter.
Derek Jeter, what are we doing here? I get it. You opened it for more fan engagement, getting another section in there. Guess what? We got COVID, so fuck your fan engagement. The art installation was one of the coolest center field art installations ever. Moving pieces and all whatnot. Beautiful Miami colors. Miami is great because they have awesome colors. They've gone to like the Miami Vice colors, even with their uniforms sometimes and their alternates. Yeah. It's dope. So they really played off of that kind of fun, colorful vibe. They still have the green walls and stuff, so it's cool. But that was like the centerpiece of the new stadium. That's what made it. So, yeah. But if not, Camden Yards, awesome. classic older type stadium, buildings in the background and right field. They really play off the orange well. Good place. Never been to either. God bless.
Absolutely wonderful explanation. And I didn't have them put in order, the stadiums, but I'm just going to do this on the fly because if I want to be like you, Dan, and I want to have them in a set order. So my 10th one. Now this one is a stadium that I feel like doesn't get a lot of respect. And coming from a Mets fan, it's maybe a little confusing. But Citizens Bank Park in Philadelphia, I don't know what about it really, strikes my fancy. It's a small ballpark, hitter's ballpark, obviously. But what I think is nice is that the setting is outside the city, and through center field, you can see the Philadelphia city skyline, which I think is really cool. It's, again, like I said, a smaller stadium, but it was kind of ahead of its time, I think. When it was, I think it came into the league, it opened in 2003, I believe, 2003 or 2004, when there was a lot more pitcher-friendly ballparks in Major League Baseball. And now that obviously is not a pitcher-friendly ballpark. I think it's just kind of a unique stadium in a look. It's pretty closed off as a stadium. There's not a whole lot of openness to it. And I really like the scoreboard out in the right field fence behind the chain link fence. I think that's a very unique feature. And of course, in center field, the Liberty Bell that lights up and rings, I believe, for every Philadelphia Philly home run. So yeah, that would be number 10 on my list. Yeah.
I like it. That was a great in-depth and analysis there. I really do appreciate that from you.
Thank you.
Number 9 for me is going to be a team that I've always felt was sneaky, a little bit of affiliation from it. I feel like they're almost not part of the podcast, not really, but like a podcast favorite team in a sense. That's the Kansas City Royals. Okay. Last team to actually play baseball. Kauffman Stadium. First off, the Royals are sneaky. Okay, nothing to do with the stadium, but they're sneaky, and so is their stadium. You don't think about it. They got a fantastic grass pad. All right, you want to talk grass patterns? Take a look at KC. Kauffman Stadium, beautiful grass pad. I'm not joking around now. I'm dead. Take it. Stop right now. Go to Google. Kansas City Royals, Kauffman Stadium. Take a look at the grass pad. Other than that, the batter's eye is phenomenal. The crown over the huge jumbotron in center field. Again, you're going to hear me talk about color a lot. They play off their blue really, really well. It's a dope royal blue. Not really a royal blue. It's more of a baby blue. But they play off that really well. Grass, batter's eye, awesome colors, sneaky team. And I'm listening to you, Ninth, but I'm walking with you because I need to go get water, and I'm not in my usual sit up here, but I'm listening.
Okay. So for my 9th, I'm going to go with Coors Field, Colorado Rockies. That's a stadium I think was built in the late 90s. It's kind of gets slept on a little bit, I think, because the Rockies are typically not one of the better teams in baseball. But it is a really nice stadium. And the thing I like about it is in center field, there is a bleacher section that is much elevated in center field. It's kind of separate from the rest of the stadium, which is a very unique setting. And also you have an outstanding view of the Colorado Rocky Mountains through, I believe, center field. And it's a unique stadium in right field. It's very high in the outfield's positioning, which is pretty unique. You don't necessarily always see that in the majors. And it has a massive outfield because it's a very hitter-friendly ballpark due to the high altitude. So a lot of home runs, the ball is flying out of the ballpark. And there's also a little rock fountain and wall out in the right center field. And the bullpens of that stadium, Coors Field, are the nicest bullpen you'll ever see. It's got like little rocks behind it, a couple evergreen trees. It's a very scenic, development, I guess you would say. And I think it looks pretty nice. And that's a stadium I would love to see one day.
Sean, couldn't agree with you more. You're going to hear about them further on in my list, a little bit higher up, for a lot of the reasons you said. And honestly, you said some reasons I weren't even here to talk about, the bullpens and such. I'll have to take a deeper dive and see what they look like because
they're very nice.
Didn't even know that. So thank you for that. I was actually hoping to go to Colorado this past season to watch my guy Ohtani hit 500-foot bombs in the home run derby. Of course, Juan Soto was there too. and
Yes.
the GOAT Trey Mancini. Let's not shout out Trey.
And Pete Alonso. Don't forget Pete.
Yeah, Trey Mancini. But I couldn't make it, unfortunately. But God bless. Going to my number 8. Oh, almost got nauseous. I'm gonna have to go Fenway. Listen, it certainly could be higher. But there's definitely bias in my list. I'm not gonna say there's not bias in my list. It's the most unique construction of outfield fences. And I appreciate that. You got the pesky paw, a little woody, kind of looks like a, I'm not gonna. You got a green monster out and left. Okay, really short porch, but it's tall. Where else do you get that? You got Triples Alley, right? Little triangle type situation there, in right center. And I really do like how cool. Obviously, it's an old stadium, which is awesome as well, and you can sit up on top of the green monster. A lot of my friends went. I didn't go. Wish I did, but just based off outfield construction, wall construction alone, it's number 8. But frankly, that's all. The organization and the team is awful.
Yeah, that one will be on my list farther down. So my next one here is probably another one that doesn't get the consideration it deserves, in my opinion, and that is Great American Ballpark, which the Cincinnati Reds, which I think is still Great American Ballpark. I'm not sure if they changed the name. Either way, it's in Cincinnati, home Cincinnati Reds. Another bandbox, hitter-friendly ballpark. The ball just flies out of that stadium. Now, if you look at it, it may not look like a stadium that is, super unique in any way. But for some reason, just when I watch games there, I just kind of get, I don't know, a feeling that I wish I could be there. It's right on, I don't know the river. I apologize. I'm not good with that kind of geography, but it's right on the river that runs through the city of Cincinnati. Has in center field, a unique fireworks statue structure that shoots fireworks into the sky every time there's a home run by the Cincinnati Red player, similar to some other stadiums throughout baseball. But yeah, I love the name, assuming it is still Great American Ballpark. I feel like it might have changed. I hope not, because I really like that name for some reason.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it still is.
So all right, well, that's good. But unfortunately, the Reds aren't very good, so that stadium a lot of times is mostly empty than it is full. But their stadium, much like the team, I think is kind of overlooked and forgotten about at times due to its lack of success and also the market that they are located in.
Showing you're and I am up here, baby, because I'm under my desk currently. You are a greater man than I. I have the same feeling when I watch a Reds game. It's not like really special necessarily, but there's something about the park that's fantastic. And they almost put my lips to that, and I said, how am I really going to captivate that in words? I'm not good enough. And let me tell you, you did it. So I'm happy you made somebody's list.
Well, thank you.
Thank you for that.
Anytime.
Outlets aren't working. We'll work we work through things. Number 7, similar to Fenway, we got Wrigley. Frankly, it's Wrigley. It's old. It's got ivy.
Yeah.
That's really all I could say about Wrigley is that it's old and they have ivy. Back in the day, they only did day games. I think if they stuck to that, that'd be kind of dope. Or like you can only go to Wrigley day games. They don't do the lights and everything. Obviously, you have to advance and it was well into the days of night games when they weren't doing it.
Yeah.
So they avoided it for much longer than even I would have. So I shouldn't even be saying it. But stadium I certainly want to go to at some point. I don't think they're going to close it anytime soon. They just did a huge renovation right to the outfield, so they're trying to preserve that history. That's really all I got to say. It's an awesome stadium.
It really is. It really is. And as I compose my list here out of a bunch of stadiums that I put together, this is where I have the most struggles in the middle here, trying to rank one stadium over the other. But I'm going to go with one that you already mentioned before, Camden Yards, home of the Baltimore Orioles. This stadium is very, very scenic which within the city of Baltimore. They incorporate the warehouse out in right field, which was going to be demolished until they built the stadium. They thought they could incorporate it into the building, and they did. And the people who designed Camden Yards kind of brought in a new era of stadiums that kind of followed suit. Citizens Bank Park was something that followed. Citi Field of the Mets followed similar design. I think Washington also did with their stadium. So it's a very nice stadium, but I kind of value it more based off of what the era of stadiums it ushered in, to show you the kind of importance it had among baseball. Unfortunately, the Orioles have been just abysmal for the past 4 or 5 years. But it's a very nice stadium, and it's one I'd like to visit one day. I'd like to visit all the stadiums one day, but this is one that are higher up on the list, obviously.
Love it. Again, you're killing me. I hope we don't have a lot of stadiums that are the same, because I'm going to sound like an asshole today. You really did your research.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
God bless. Completely forgot what I was going to say. Oh, what I was going to say is me, you, and your father and your brother at a certain point had a plan to go road trip for a whole summer around every stadium.
Yeah.
Still not off the table, obviously.
No, it's still time.
But that's something I definitely want to do at some point. Yeah, seeing every stadium would be great. My number 6. Again, this is a 6 through 8 is a similar bunch. It's Yankee Stadium. The reason being, again, it's Yankee fucking Stadium. Okay, it's like it's new, obviously, but it's like when you walk in, like I've been to 3 or 4 stadiums, but when you walk into Yankee Stadium, it's like, it's different. It's just that it's the pinstripes. It's the classy, like not the star, but the gold standard, and you feel that when you're in the stadium. You feel like your chest is a little bit higher. You're a Yankee fan. There's a sense of pride to it, and you feel that in the stadium. Awesome center field Hall of Fame. It's a great thing you can go the first time. It's like an awesome thing to do your first time, but also cool to do it a second and third time. It doesn't really get that old. And then they do keep it a little bit new age, but in a classy way. They got the judges' chambers now. You could sit in the judges' chambers. They did that up really nice. They make it look like actual, hardwood. I guess it's just more like a facade. You don't really sit on hardwood, but it's like just a facade. They do try or they have tried to play up to their stars, like Judge, in that sense. But it's good food too, real good food. You want to get a brisket? I'll tell you something right now. You want to get a brisket in New York City? You don't stop anywhere in New York City. You buy a ticket to a Yankee game, and you pay $12, $15 for a small brisket sandwich, and you leave. You don't even watch the game. That's the best way to get. That is the best brisket per dollar you're gonna get. It might be $300 to the point where you get that brisket sandwich. I'm telling you, on a dollar for dollar cost.
Yeah.
Best brisket you're gonna get.
I don't know. I got pretty good brisket at another stadium, but I'm gonna mention later.
Listen, the Mets Stadium brisket is to die for. I'm not gonna tell you it's not, but that's more of like I feel like, was it brisket too?
I believe so.
Or was it pulled pork?
Yeah, I think it was pulled pork.
That's what I was thinking. So let me tell you, best pulled pork in New York City, you're gonna have to buy yourself a 50-cent ticket, go into the game. Okay, it might cost you $3 the whole thing. Pound for pound, best pulled pork sandwich you're gonna get. Mets Stadium food is they're not gonna make my list, so I'll say it now, out of this world. And what they have that Yankee Stadium doesn't have is you have sight lines the whole way. Like they have a little back alley that you get into that's just food, and it's like awesome cuisine, like really good, different food stops. Not like your regular concession stand with tables and stuff. Yankee kind of have like in center field, right? Or is that behind the home plate? Somewhere where you walk behind, you have no view of the stadium for about 300 feet, which is kind of annoying. But Met Stadium food in general.
Mm-hmm. I love to hear that. I'll talk more about it when I get to later on my list.
Also saw Clayton. I saw Clayton. I was like, as far as me and Sean look away right now, we are very far. But as far as we look on camera, that's how close I got to Clayton. Opponent's bullpen, right downstairs. A lot of people don't know about it. Right downstairs, you can touch the cage, and he's right there. I was respectful, of course, other than
of course, yeah.
I love you like a child, but I was very respectful of his warm-up.
As you should be. As you should be. So for my number 6, I actually have 2 that are tied. I had 11 stadiums on the list, and this is kind of where they're conflicting. I think, well, if I'm doing my math correctly, and that's not a strong suit, I'll have enough. I'll have 11, but I could have 10. We'll see. Anyway, for number 6, I have Dodger Stadium and Petco Park. Dodger Stadium, I'd love to go to just because Dodger Stadium, it's iconic. It's, I believe, the 3rd oldest stadium in the majors behind Wrigley and Fenway, or Wrigley. Flip-flop those two. I'm not sure. Yeah, I mean, what else can you say? The Dodger blue. I mean, it's Chavez Ravine. It's something you got to go to. You got to say you were there. Those Dodger games are great. I'd love to have a Dodger dog. You know, it's just a place I'd love to see. Love to watch a ball game. Not much more to be said. You know, I just love to do that. And then Petco Park. I love was a Western Materials warehouse in left field. They used to have like a little beach thing in right field. They've taken that out since and put some bleachers and a little like pavilion. Also, Bartolo Colon has first and only home run there. So that it just adds to it. I think it's just a very nice stadium. It's San Diego, always sunny, never rainy. And it's a place that I'd like to see as well. And I like how they incorporated the warehouse in San Diego, much like they did out in Baltimore as well. So those are my 2 tied for 6th. Yeah.
All right, I like it. We definitely have some variants. That's like the 3rd stadium you've mentioned that I don't think is going to be on my list. But of course, I'll give credence to it as well. It's a very nice stadium. There's nothing wrong with it. I like that we're going to have some variation here. My number 5 stadium, we got Busch Stadium. Okay. First off, they play off their color red extremely well. Okay. Beautiful hits of red throughout the stadium. Secondly, all right, the arch. I mean, arch is just dope. You see it, you can see it from the upper decks. You see the arch coming off. It like perfectly encapsulates the city. Like when you think of St. Louis, you think of the arch. So to have a stadium where that's in the sight lines is awesome. Like that, I feel like that just makes, if you were to go and travel to St. Louis just for a game, like you'd really get like the vibe of the city and the city experience. It's a beautiful ballpark. And I'll harken back to something I harkened to. We talked about Kauffman Stadium. I might say something right now that could offend some people, but I'm just going to come out and say what I believe in. Best grass pattern in the game. Best grass pattern in the game. Okay, I feel like you're sitting there not believing me.
No, I think it's fantastic.
I can look up a picture of Busch Stadium right now.
I think you should.
Okay, I don't. Wow, I didn't even know. I mean, all right, I'll do it. Is that what you want, Sean?
I would love to. I've seen it before, but I need some refreshing, as do the watchers, listeners, viewers.
Now, can you see my screen?
Yep, that's beautiful.
Okay, good. Just make sure. Look at the checkerboard, man. Look how perfect this checkerboard is. Okay. Now it is opening day, so they got the arch in there. The arch isn't an everyday thing, but the arch is also dope. Okay.
Yeah.
There's the arch there. It's just phenomenal. Really, truly, it is. Truly,
it is.
That's all I'm gonna say.
And this is one that I must say I think I overlooked and slightly forgot because I didn't put it on the list, and I probably should have. But I'm just gonna go full force ahead. But I really do like Busch Stadium. That's it's iconic. There's really no other way to put it, you know. So, are you done? I don't want to cut you off here. So
no, I'm good. Grass pad.
So number 5, I'm going to go with the aforementioned Citi Field, home of the New York Mets. I'm sure there's bias there, but Citi Field, in my opinion, is a gorgeous stadium from the outside. This is one of the few stadiums I've been to, so I can actually say what the outside looks like. Really nice outside look to the stadium, right on the water. I'm not sure what body of water that is. It looks like a bay of some sort. I'm not entirely sure. Anyway, the sightlines, as Dan said, you can walk around the entire stadium, or 90% of the stadium, and see the field of play, which is really unique. Because I know at Shea Stadium, the Mets' old stadium, you couldn't see anything. The only time you saw the stadium is if you walked out the tunnel and walked into this stands where the seats were. So Citi Field, it's awesome in that regard. The food is fantastic. Going back to that pulled pork in the bullpen, Dan and I went to a game this summer. Fortunately, it got rained out in the bottom of the first inning. But Dan and I shared a nice barbecue meal, pulled pork, right next to the visitors' bullpen under a slight cement column on top of us, over us, that shaded us from the rain, and it was very nice. Aside from the game getting rained out and still not being able to see the game the next day and all that, it's a very nice experience. Waffle ice cream cones, not enough of those stands around, but they're fantastic. Full disclosure, I dropped mine in the parking lot of Citi Field, and I almost cried a little bit. But Dan and I waited legitimately for an hour. Did not get charged. Shout out to that guy.
It was more, folks. It was more than an hour.
Shout out to the guy who didn't charge us. He just handed it to us and just kept doing his job. Thank you for that. In Citi Field, you got the Apple in center field. You got a little wiffle ball field. The Mets Hall of Fame down on the first floor by the rotunda. Not quite like the Yankees Hall of Fame. Frankly, they don't have enough players to put in the Mets Hall of Fame, and much like the Yankees. Just a very nice stadium. I have no qualms about it, and I'm sure there's bias there, but I think that Citi Field makes the top 10 of a lot of people, non-Mets fans or Mets fans alike.
Sure. Yeah. And I think the only reason it didn't go in mine is I'm used to it, A, and B, I'm not a Mets fan.
Yeah.
I do have bias. The waffle, I mean, the ice cream was just probably the best dessert I've gotten at a stadium.
It was so good.
Although I gotta tell you, I believe it's Yankee Stadium. Started serving some chicken and waffle with some sweet butter. They had a specific type of butter. Oh, Sean, they were really knocking the socks off. We're talking $20 for two Eggo, not Eggo, the Eggo squares.
Yeah.
It was. They picked your pockets, but it was good stuff. Me and Zeke shared. When you eat with Zeke, it's never really a sharing experience. But we had a good time with that. Now it seems as though my list has disappeared here, and that's not what I want. Did you want that? Do you want my list to disappear?
No, not at all.
Okay, I'm just making sure. And also buying time by asking the question. We got it back. Okay. My number 4 stadium, is Angels Stadium. Okay. You're going to hear it again from me. They play off their color very, very well. The color pops, they incorporate it very, very well. And I've always thought that whenever I watch stadiums, and this even goes back to, it used to remind me, if you played backyard baseball as a kid, that Grand Canyon field has a little circle rock in center field. You can either hit it through or it hits off the top. You get a double. You're like, why my life? Why are we like this? It always reminded me of that because they're a rock structure in center field. Yeah. In my opinion, since the Marlins went to Ixnay on theirs, it is the best outfield. We call it art. It's not really art. It's not foliage either. Really, what would you call that? What's it called?
Topography?
That's more of the, I guess it's lay of the land. But like natural art installation. I think it's the best that they got out there. A little running water through it. You see home runs hit into it. I think it's dope. And I think they really do play off. It just feels like Angels Stadium when you're looking at pictures of it. Obviously, never been there. But looking at pictures and watching games, I think it suits the team perfectly. And again, my favorite center field kind of natural art situation.
No, it really is a nice venue. Again, fantastic weather. When I see a game there, I just feel all warm. You know what I mean? You're watching a game in LA, you know it's warm and toasty, and you know Mike Trout and Shohei Ohtani are playing. So yeah, that's a great point. My number 4 is PNC Park in Pittsburgh, which is just above Dan's left shoulder. Well, his right shoulder, but I'm looking at it his left. Yes, exactly. I mean, just look at that picture. I mean, you got the bridge out in center field. You got the skyline of Pittsburgh straight ahead, also in center field. You got the Allegheny River out in right field, running along the way. It's just a beautifully built stadium within the city confines. Thank you, Dan. You're doing a hell of a job. I mean, what else could you ask for? It's a nice stadium. I mean, the team could be better, but you know, it is what it is there. It's aesthetically very pleasing to the eye, and there's really not much else to be said. But that makes my list of top 5 stadiums I'd like to see. I think it's gorgeous, and it has a very unique personality. And when you see that, you know you're in Pittsburgh. You see that skyline, you know you're watching a Pittsburgh Pirates game. And also that the outfield grass cutout is also very nice too. They change it in that picture is very nice, but I know they change it fairly frequently. Not to the level of Busch Stadium, but that is important. The outfield design. But either way, PNC Park is my number 4 out of 10.
Yeah, amazing stadium. My mom's actually been there. She went there on like some kind of business trip. Saw Andrew McCutchen. You know, it was very upsetting for me.
Dreadlock Andrew McCutchen?
That's a good question, Sean. It was long ago, obviously, where Andrew was there, but I think it wasn't long enough ago for him to have dreadlocks. It might have been that interim period.
Okay.
Pirates still no dreadlocks.
Yeah.
If he was dreadlocks, I would have remembered it because I'd be still hurting today.
Yeah.
But no, she did go. She gave me the ticket stub, which was cool. It almost felt like a, you know, what are you gonna do? My number 3 stadium here. This made it to 3 on my list. You heard this earlier with Sean. It's gonna be Coors Field. Okay, it's as Sean alluded to. It's like the biggest outfield in baseball, which just makes it beautiful because you get to look at all that green grass. I think the bigger the outfield, the prettier the stadium is. It's extremely scenic. So like when you look around, even if you're not looking at the Rocky Mountains, just the area is just so like when you look at an overview of the area, it's just so scenic. Yeah. Front row seats are awesome because you're looking at, again, a huge playing field. But like Sean alluded to, the upper deck seats, you can literally see the Rocky Mountains. And they're situated so that it's like still a decent view. From what I've read, there's not a bad seat in the ballpark. So people like literally just choose the upper deck seats because they still get a decent view, and they're looking at the Rocky Mountains. I mean, I'm a big natural, like, kind of look at that kind of nature situation. That's top of the list. There's only 2 other stadiums that can top it for me, and really, there's like stupid reasons that the first 2 are 1 and 2. Honestly, I think this could push to number 2 for me. So I'm really thinking back in my mind, but just in my opinion, the most might not be the coolest, might be the coolest. The most beautiful stadium we got. That's
yeah. No, it definitely is, and I feel like it definitely gets overlooked. So my number 3 stadium, as Dan mentioned earlier, is going to be Wrigley Fields for me. It's extremely nostalgic. You know, when you think baseball, you think about like the history it has, the roots it has in the American, you know, culture. Wrigley Field is every bit a part of that. I mean, as you alluded to earlier, the refusal to have lights in their stadium, I think until the 1980s, I believe. I could be wrong, but I think it was the 80s. That's awesome. I mean, that's just another like characteristic that makes the Cubs and, you know, Wrigley Field that much more unique. How many stadiums have ivy growing on the wall? I love watching a game. Yeah, I love watching a game in April before the ivy's grown and it's a brick wall, and then you watch a game in June, it's fully grown, and it's just little stuff like that. Another hitter-friendly ballpark. One thing I don't like is they have since taken away some of the rooftop viewing of the apartments across the street because they put up the scoreboards and jumbotrons and right and left field. But money is going to win out in the end. But I think there's still some of that going on. But Wrigley Field, never been there. Absolutely would love to, and I hope that it never gets taken down.
Thank you, Sean. My number 2 stadium, like I said, I feel like really you could flip number 2 and 3 for me. And this, believe it or not, is a stadium. When I'm looking, I was doing some research looking like, what is the general consensus here? And I got my feelings out on the page, and I compare with the general consensus. And this was generally like the 3rd worst stadium. It was Oakland, Tampa, and this stadium were like the bottom 3. I'm like, I don't agree. Clearly, it's my number 2. It's quite a leap to make. And listen, maybe it's because it's in another country, but it's the Rogers Center. It's the Rogers Center.
Okay.
I want to go to the Rogers Center. I think about just Joe Cardi. Okay, I just think about it's again. I'm gonna say it a million times. They play off their color blue so well. Everything looks beautiful. And then in center field, you got the Hoties. My dream is to stay at that hotel and watch the game from the hotel window. I've watched like 6 vloggers do it just to experience the situation. Every time someone hits a homer, and I even talk about a homer, attributes. Every time someone hits a homer, you get the hockey horn, the
Yeah. Yep.
It's just like it's Canada. It's Canada in a stadium. You got a country as your fan base. One of the more rowdy, stadiums you're gonna get. That no one can deny. I mean, remember those wild card and division series games? I guess that's 2015, right now.
15 and 16, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, those were. I mean, you see the videos of Joey and Edwin hitting that 2-run bomb. It's shaking. It's insane.
The camera's shaking. Yeah.
I would love to go to Rogers Center, be in that atmosphere, and sit in the hotel and watch from center field. I don't know. I think people are sleeping on it. I think the vibe. Maybe it's not pretty, and maybe it has to be redone. First off, I do think it's pretty, but maybe it's not pretty to some people. It has to be redone. But I don't know. I think the vibe alone is what does it to me.
I think the sticking point for a lot of people is the amenities, and it's a little outdated. I think they're confirmed getting a new stadium built. I think they're going to be in the same spot, so I don't know how they're going to coordinate that. But I think I remember hearing that. But yeah, I mean, Jose Bautista hitting that home run, the camera shaking. Joe Carter hitting a walk-off home run to win the World Series. Touch them all, Joe. Great call. It's just iconic. To go to the Blue Jays, they won back-to-back World Series, and they just don't get talked about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, working at the Hall of Fame, I've had the luxury of meeting some interesting people, and I've met some people who were at those playoff games, and specifically Jose Bautista's game where he hit the home run. And they said that the atmosphere in there, he compared it to a hockey game because, they're Canadians. What do they hockey is their thing, as you said.
Yeah.
So they don't really know, not that they're cheering wrong or anything, just baseball is kind of a different beast. He said he was genuinely scared that the stadium was going to fall apart. That's how loud and how much it was shaking. He had fear. But yeah, no, when that place is rocking and packed, it's awesome. Also, I love when the roof's open. Love when the roof's open.
Love it. It's beautiful. And I think going to what you were saying, obviously, they played half of their season in where was it? Where they played half their season? Buffalo. And they are getting a new stadium. Like it's old, it's outdated. It's the 3rd worst stadium in the MLB, right? Everyone knows. Apparently that's what we're saying here. But I think that's like more of the impetus for me to this is almost like stadiums I really want to go to,
Yeah.
I honestly really want to go to the Rogers Center before it closes. Like there's just so much history there. And I mean, the vibe is not going to go away. The vibe will be transferred onto the new stadium. The fans are going to be there. They're not going to change their home run siren. But there is, I don't know, a history. And I don't know if you'll ever be able to watch. even if they do it at the same site, they're probably gonna end up blocking the hotel view. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm sticking to it. I'm gonna be the weird guy. Number 2, Rogers.
Hey, go for it. I'm sure the new one's going to be a dome as well, because I can't imagine playing games in April in Toronto, Canada. But so for number 2 for me, I think it's a little more traditional. These are a toss up. My number 2 and number 1 are really close. My number 2 is going to end up being Fenway, which is just over Dan's left shoulder, which you had already mentioned. I mean, much like what I said with the Cubs and Wrigley, the history, I believe 1912 was when it opened. So yeah, I think that's the older stadium than Wrigley, now that I think of it. The dimensions, I'm not to beat a dead horse here and repeat everything Dan said. The dimensions are unique. That's what makes baseball great. That's what makes stadiums great. The garage door in left center field, the scoreboard in the Green Monster itself, the pesky pole, the red seat in right field where Ted Williams allegedly hit the longest home run in baseball history. It's unique. I mean, my brother went to a game this year and had a seat that was partially obstructed because a beam was in the way, but there's seats behind it. It's Fenway. I've never been there, but I'd love to go one day, and maybe me and Dan will be there together one day.
Well, what it sounds like is we're gonna have to go together because everybody else we know went. They all left us and went at a certain point, so we're gonna have to just make the trip, I guess.
That sounds right. That sounds fair.
God bless. All right, guys. Listen, I didn't want to have to be that guy, but we're gonna go to the best stadium in All right.
I think we might know who this one is gonna be.
I don't know if you throw any hints there. It's Dodger Stadium, Chavez Ravine. Okay, again, if we're talking about where I want to go, I'm going this semester if I physically can. It's Chavez Ravine. I don't know if Kersh will ever pitch there. It's been on my bucket list since I'm a kid. I want to see Clayton pitch in Dodger Stadium. I think the 3 highest likelihoods right now is retirement, Rangers, and death. Dodgers are 4th. So if
he was at a Dallas Mavs game, by the way, with CD Lamb and Amari Cooper. Just saying.
I can't imagine Clayton fraternizing with those fellas. I hope he had a wonderful time. I think that's Sean. You just blew my mind. I think that's batshit crazy.
There's a picture,
I'll have to look up that picture. There's a picture online of that?
Yeah, Dirk Nowitzki's jersey retirement night. He was sitting courtside with his wife on one side, and then on his other side was CD Lamb and Amari Cooper.
Now they happened to be he didn't go with them. He went with his wife, right?
You don't know. They were sitting right next to each other. You definitely went with his wife, but whether he was there with CD Lamb and Amari Cooper, I don't know. But that's
a hell of a 4. That is a hell. Maybe Ellen after 3 kids is like, we got to spice things up. But Amari Cooper and CD Lamb is a hell of a spice job on you. Let me get to why Dodger Stadium is the best fucking stadium. It's the only mid-century ballpark left. As Sean said, it's the 3rd oldest. It's the only one from the 50s and 60s that we have left. And there's a good reason for it, because it was the best out of those groupings. Grass pattern is absolutely filthy. Okay, it's filthy. Take a look there. It's filthy. One of the best sight lines. Okay, there's not a bad seat in the house. I've heard that review from everybody and anybody I've spoken to. And let's talk about the color integration for the last and final time. The whole stadium's friggin' Dodger. You could just tell it's a Dodgers stadium. And when you get that's a bad picture because it's dark. The view of LA, there's palm trees. It's the best stadium. No ifs, ands, or buts. It's the 3rd oldest and still looks like one of the newest. Okay, it's got the newest amenities. It's got history. It's got grace. It's got class. It's still got swag. I'm going to be in a seat. You're going to see me in a seat. I'm going to do a podcast from a seat. I'm not. I wouldn't. No offense to the fans. I would not the second I finally get to Chavez, I'm not gonna hop on a podcast. I'm gonna be watching the game. But I mean, I cannot wait to go to Chavez Ravine. Is my final stance. That's why
they've done a lot of renovations to it, and I know they put in a little like area on the outfield, and the All-Star game is going to be there next year, right?
I did not know that.
I think it was supposed to be there during COVID year.
That's
Got
right.
Postponed, yeah. And also the seats behind home plate, I like how they're a little below ground. It's a very unique kind of feature, and it's just a screen there, you know,
almost like in a fishbowl bubble thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like when you go to an aquarium, you're a little kid, or you me at 300 pounds, and you crawl under something and you pop your head up and you take a picture of you. You go,
absolutely.
You know.
Yeah. So my number one, I am shocked you did not include this in your top 10. I think you might be letting your anti-team of this.
If it's Oracle, I don't want to hear nothing about it.
It is Oracle.
Yeah.
Or better known to me, AT&T Park. I mean, what can you say? McCovey Cove in right field. You got I believe it's the Bay. You got the home run splash tracker. They moved the fences in a little bit because it's a hard place to hit a home run. You get the yakkers out in the water trying to get the home run balls. You got like the Levi building there. It's aesthetically pleasing as a stadium could be. They had a sellout record for a long time that has ended. I'm sure this year they sold out quite a bit. They had a good team. That's a stadium I'd love to see. It looks like it's always cold there. You know what I mean? It's California, but it looks like it's probably consistently 60 degrees and like raining. The Seagulls at night, the late games, love it. It's just a really pretty stadium. Location. I mean, a lot of these stadiums, location is key, and location in this instance is vital. You put a stadium by water, it's going to do well. And you look at the stadiums I put in here; a lot of them are near locations or near water. I'll forever call it AT&T Park. Because that's just what I grew up with. AT&T Park, Tim Lincecum, Matt Cain, Madison Bumgarner, Pablo Sandoval. Those guys. I'd just love to go to that ballpark sometime.
Well, I'll to answer what you just spewed. I'll give my notes. These are my notes. You guys can read that sentence there. But I'm not saying anything else on the matter. Okay, that's how I feel.
I mean, I didn't think let your bias slip in here because that's a gorgeous stadium.
Yeah, it's fun. No, it's a great stadium. It's top 10 for sure. I just can't do that.
That's okay. That's okay. That's why I got it. I covered it.
Listen, that's why we had a lot of variance there. I think that worked out great. Now,
I agree.
I did have a couple minor league stadiums as the bonus. I did do some minor league bonus stadiums. Did you do any, or am I taking this sector?
I have one because I've only been to a handful.
Mm-hmm.
So you can you want to go through one of yours, and then I'll say one, and then you can put your second one in there.
Yeah, because I think I have 3, so that'll work perfect.
Okay, perfect.
All right, my first one, and I'm gonna share. I'll share a little bit of a screen because I grabbed a picture of each of them because I feel like the fans might not know exactly what they look like. First one, bias, 100% bias. We got the Hudson Valley Renegades Dutchess Stadium. All right, I'm just gonna be honest with you. It's one of the only minor league stadiums I've ever been to, but it's just, I don't know. I loved it. I was there every single night for a whole summer, and I never got sick of it. These blue seats, they just literally put in my year 2019. As you can see, I mean, just look at the trees, look at the foliage, would you? I mean,
Hudson River,
gorgeous. You got the river. Obviously, you can't see the river in the stadium. It's a gorgeous area. Okay, beautiful area. There's downtown shops. There's so much to do outside of just the stadium. This is where I worked. But there's a nice little bar section here. Look, you can't see it, but there's some waterfalls and rocks, little area there. This is all a nice bar and tabletop section. You got another nice bar and tabletop section over here. There's not a bad seat in the house. This logo stays, okay. It's a beautiful stadium, and let alone like the game. It's minor league baseball, but working there, you will not be bored at a game. Now, this has been COVID season, so if you went in the last year and a half, might be a little bit different. But 2019 and prior, and hopefully 2022 and beyond, between every single inning, there is fan engagement and like in between inning games. Out in right field in this area over here, there's a huge bouncy house going on. That's why this place is open. Bouncy house for the kids, pitch clocker. You want to see how fast you can throw. Every inning, right here. You see that little blue square there, Sean? Little blue cutout, and the same on this side. This is where I would sit. I would sit right here or right there. We'd run out every half inning. We'd have fans on the field, kids running out to center field to grab. We'd throw their shoes on both sides of the field. Whoever got their shoes first that came back wins. Pie to the face challenges, water fights. I mean, just so much bowling, cornhole, whatever you could fit between a half inning, we did it. And it just made for such a fun experience for the fans as well as for me. But for that reason and that reason only, I think it's a top shout out for a minor league stadium, especially because it's only high A. It's a single A stadium. So I
was about to ask what level is that's for single A. That's a large stadium.
Yeah, no, I think it could be the best high A affiliate stadium. And my question to you, Sean, was because this was the Rays team. Now the Yankees high A. Did the Rays just lose the stadium?
I think so. I think it's under whoever. A lot of the times, I think like the county will own, the state will own it. Yeah, and they lease it out.
You know what? You're right. I guess that's what happens. They just went out of the contract, I guess, and the Yankees were forced to sign into a contract.
Yeah, I think that would be how it goes.
Because when they cut out so many minor league teams and moved them around. So this was the Rays when I was here. It's now the Yankees. Volpe was playing here this year. But God bless. Go to yours here.
I've only been to a handful. I guess I'll start out with, I don't know if you want to look it up or not. AAA for the New York Mets, Syracuse Mets Stadium, NBT Bank Stadium.
Sure.
That's again, I haven't been to a lot of minor league stadiums, but this one was the Mets AAA. They became affiliated with each other, I think 2 years ago or 3 years ago. The year before COVID hit. They were with the Washington Nationals. That's where Steven Strasburg pitched. You remember when he was pitching in AAA, and there was AAA ticket was worth more than the Washington Nationals ticket. He pitched there. Bryce Harper played there. I think Juan Soto played there. A lot of guys came through the system and played there for the Trey Turner for the Nationals, and all sorts of guys like that. The Mets, when they took ownership of it, or the lease, because it's owned by the county, they put, I think, like $5 million in renovations. So I don't know what the stadium looked prior, but I know it's beautiful right now. They have a tiki bar down the left field line. And then down the right field line, they have another bouncy house type thing. Really nice scoreboard out in center field with some really cool light up figurines. I don't know how to word it exactly, beyond the outfield fence. So at night, it's really cool. Yeah, I think that was after the renovation. Yeah. I will say the setting of the stadium is not in the nicest neighborhood of Syracuse. It's a little sketchy once you get off the grounds, but you don't really need to worry about that inside the stadium. But yeah, it's a nice venue.
It looks very pretty.
Yeah, absolutely. Zach France, Dan, you've met him a few times. He won't be too happy with me saying this, but it was $1 dog night, $2 beer night. And let's just say he didn't end the night very well. That was the last time I was there.
Man, you walk in there with $30, you could do some damage.
Yeah. That's also the stadium my brother had 9 hot dogs on $1 dog night.
Yeah, let's move on to my second stadium. We got Truist Ballpark. We're not talking about Atlanta. We are talking about the Charlotte Knights, which is the White Sox AAA affiliate. Now let's take a look at this. Talk about skyline with some of the MLB stadiums. I mean, I didn't even realize I figured this out just upon researching. I really wasn't a big aficionado of minor league stadiums, but I'm gonna have to go visit this.
Yeah.
It's in Charlotte. I don't know how far it is from me. I guess 2.5 hours because I went to the Hornets game, so it's right around there. I'm gonna have to go to a game. I mean, look at
That's
how
beautiful.
dope this is. All of downtown Charlotte, and downtown Charlotte is very pretty. I have to say, just from going to the Hornets game. The stadium itself doesn't look anything to die for. It looks kind of old, to be frank. But take a look at the scenery. I mean, you want to feel like you're in the city. You look almost like you're in New York City.
Yeah.
I would obviously want to sit somewhere here on this side, I guess. Sitting here, I think, is just an absolute waste of your time and space. But sitting here, I feel like this would be. And this is the AAA team for the White Sox. Who the White Sox got come up in the ranks right now?
Anyone? Sure, I forget.
I got to see who I want to. I'm going to try and go to a game, and maybe this April and May. I'm going to do a quick diversion here and see if there's anybody that I might want to see. You don't know anybody?
Not off the top of my head.
Oh, and Colson Montgomery's your best one. I don't know.
You got Cespedes' younger brother.
They got Yolecki. Okay, he's in Double-A. How do you spell his name, Sean?
I'm not really sure.
Man, they don't have a great farm system, Sean. I gotta be frank with you.
Yeah, they're probably all up in the pros now, up in the majors.
They got Jake Bird, who's supposed to be fairly decent, but he's 25 and he's probably gonna be in the MLB. But you know what, Sean? I think my goal is to go and see Cespedes, his younger brother, in AAA this year. What kind of? Oh, look, he's already got. I'm gonna move you. He's already got the chain. Okay, so he's gonna be good. What did he do last year? 285 with a 350 OBP. It ain't bad. 18 bags on him, Sean. To go along with 8 homers. You know,
That's not bad.
Don't like the K to walk ratio. I'm gonna be frank.
Well, he's a Cespedes, so you know.
16 walks to 83 strikeouts ain't the greatest I've ever seen, but hopefully he makes it to AAA this year and I get to see him.
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
I don't really have any other stadiums.
I got one more, so I'll just take it and I'll finish it up.
You can go right ahead.
Let's see. Can I do this? I can do it. I've done it plenty of times. All right, now we are all bundled up here. Here we are. Now, last one is the Blue Wahoons. Okay, the Miami Marlins affiliate. I can't figure out what affiliate, Sean. If you could figure out what class the Blue Wahoons are, or if they were a team that got hexed, but they're playing Pensacola, Florida, would you take a look at this stadium construction, Sean? Well, first off, let's admire the palm trees. Okay, let's just admire the palm trees. Let's pretend nothing else is going on with these bleachers clearly in left center field, in right center field. But look at this.
They play football there? Is that why they're there?
These are goalposts for sure. These are goalposts. Okay. And let me tell you, if I was a kicker to kick something to the goalpost landing in the ocean, and that'd be kind of dope. That'd be kind of awesome.
I found out what affiliate they are.
Okay.
Double-A.
Double-A. Perfect. We got a single, double, and triple. I basically did my job without even knowing I was doing my job. So this is set up for a football game, clearly. This is you guys can see, this is the football stadium. The goalposts are here. But this, pretend that's not there. Okay. How beautiful is this? Talk about Oracle. AT&T. Yeah. You want to hit a homer anywhere, you can hit it into the water. I mean, you'd have to have some real pop to hit it this way, I guess. But, I mean, if you're sitting here, you got a beautiful view. And look how close it is from the wall to the water. Like, I mean, you can't tell depth perception, but it looks like, Sean, it looks like it's 15 feet in left field. Just thought I'd shout it out. stadium. I think it'd be fun to visit. Love to watch a football game there too, I guess. Let me see. I gotta see if there's a better better picture of that. What's the stadium called again?
I just typed in Blue Wahoo's Stadium.
Yeah, I'm not spelling Wahoo's right, but I hope that does it. Wahoo's, okay. Man, look at this grass pad in here, Sean. Now, if they would have taken about this, I didn't hear. Had you heard about the grass pad?
Yeah.
That's a nice. Now they did that up nice. The baseball vibe is there. Now what's going on here? I don't need to. Now they're the Argonauts. It seems.
Okay.
No, the University of West Florida. I guess they use their stadium. Okay. All right. Sean, I got to tell you, they're playing disc golf.
I saw a picture of disc golf there. Yeah.
It is a multi-purpose stadium, and that's why I chose it. Okay. You get a stadium, it's so multi-use. I mean, look at this. You know, you got another field here. It's the best minor league stadium in baseball. Brought to you by me. You're welcome.
We love that. We love that kind of research. That was beautiful.
Thank you.
And I think that's pretty much all we got on tap for this episode here.
Is it? Let me check because you never know what you're doing. Let me just make sure.
Yeah, we had other stuff on the list, but we've already gone over an hour, so I wasn't
Yeah,
sure.
no, we are. Oh, right, we can do this. Well, guys, again, here you go. Behind the scenes look. We'll do this next time, I guess.
Yeah.
All right. Or I'm not even sharing, am I? No. Okay. So you guys didn't see anything. Sean just said yes to me. Had no idea what I was highlighting.
No, because I know the document you're talking about.
Okay. So the middle.
I was looking at it.
Yeah. We'll do that. We'll do that next time.
So to preview the next one, we're going to talk about the teams we think need to win the most this upcoming season, among other things. But it seems like one topic fills in an hour pretty quickly. So
yeah. No, we are. We're not the short talkers.
No, that's why we're the 10th inning, because we're extra innings. We're extra long.
That's right. Well, they got a good sense of the cool stadiums in the MLB. You know.
Yeah.
I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed our takes. Just talking. Sean, I'm talking on my ass now. You got to take over, buddy. I'm gonna ruin the whole podcast.
Well, I'll slide right in. Hey, if you guys have a stadium that you like that we did not mention, please comment on our Instagram post, our YouTube post, both. If you think Dan not having Oracle Park in his top 10 was asinine, please let us know. If you think I made a mistake by having Citi Field in there, please let me know. If you want merch, please let us know. Again, subscribe. Each subscriber you get is $1 off the hat. So if you want to save yourself some money, it's really not that hard to get people to subscribe. I'm just saying.
Nope.
Limited edition.
You think this hat's worth $22? Get 10 subscribers. Make sure when they subscribe and you're already subscribed, they comment on this video or the next video or a different video. I don't care what video it's on. I'd like it to be on this video so it's all streamlined. Just say, Matt sent me here. Leif sent me here. Whatever. Again, Kyle sent me here. I might get subscribers, get another second hat for myself just to buy up the stock. Because one day these are going to be worth $1 million. I might get 60 subscribers, Sean. 64. Get 2 hats.
Yeah.
Sit on them. Just sit on them.
With inflation, you can make some money, you know?
All these hats get dirty.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all I'm saying. Be a friend of the pod, and regardless of whether you want the merch or not, again, if you can't support financially, we love it. But if you can try and grow this community as much as we can, we love fan engagement. So, like Sean said, comment down below, call me an ass, tell us what you want us to talk about next week. We still got a huge amount of stuff that we have stockpiled that we still want to talk about. We are not running out of content, but there is no harm in adding content. We will stop what we're doing and say what you want us to say if you have something you want to hear or you want to know about. I know I kind of sound a little stupid most of the time, but I do know about baseball. So if you guys have questions about baseball, about players, minor leaguers, whatever, let us know.
Yeah.
Also, Sean, if you wouldn't mind, I'm going to ask them one question before we close it out.
Go right ahead.
Like this guy has a say. I mean, I screw this guy over day in, day out. It's unfortunate. I literally take over the podcast with no reason to, and I do apologize. I'm going to take two things now, and the first thing really negates the whole thing I'm doing. Sean, I'm sorry for taking over the podcast so many times, okay, with my rants. And I'm currently doing what I'm apologizing for, but I apologize.
It's all good, you know?
Now,
there's no problem with it.
the second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to this. There was a trade that went down in our Dynasty League. I did want to keep you guys updated. It was not between me and Team Sean, which you see over here, again, on Red House rebranded. It was a trade between Bangin' Cans and Kate. Zeke, a friend of the podcast, was our first guest.
Yep.
So this was the trade that went down, folks. I am receiving tonight at 3 a.m., hopefully, Logan Webb and Julio Rodriguez for Ozzie Albies. That was the players involved. So comment down below what you think. Who do you think won this trade? Ozzie's 24, is a top 10 player in the league last year. Logan had a great second half of the season, looked dominant in the playoffs, and Julio's a top prospect. Logan Webb's like 25. I think Julio's 20. There was some draft picks traded. I got Zeke's first and second round pick from this year. He was not using them because he already has his 2 extra roster spots pre-filled with guys who were on the IL last year. So he was kind of not interested in them. They do have value, but not to him. So I was able to get them for cheap. And we also flipped first round picks for next year. That is just bravado, folks. That is just me telling Zeke, I am 10 times better than you, Zeke. I'm definitely finishing better than you next year. And he's saying, there's no shot that you're going to beat me again next year. So we flop first round picks. Basically, I'm just going to get a better pick next year because I'm going to have a better season. They are ranked by how well you do. The other way, how it's supposed to go. You know what I'm saying, right?
Yes. We
The better
do
record
know what
gets
you're saying.
the worst pick. Everybody knows. I don't know half the time. But let me know down below, who do you think won this trade? If it's not me, tell me, Dan, you're literally stupid. You're the stupidest person of all time. You traded like a top 10 player that's only 24 years old in a Dynasty League for 2 people who might not pan out. Tell me that. Or tell me, Dan, you're a sneaky bastard. You're a sneaky bastard. That's all I got to say. Sean, close us out. If you want. If you don't, derail the whole thing. You have more than Justin doing that.
Well, as always, like, comment, subscribe. Comment down below in the videos. Get subscribers if you want merch. Hey, if you just want to pay the full amount, we're good with that too. We're just trying to get the expand the community, and boy, do we have a good community now.
That's right. God bless you. God bless all of you. We'll see you next time.